Good morning, children. So today we are going to see the second unit, which is called as respiration. Okay, so I think you all understood the first unit. If you have not gone through the first unit, you can check out in the description. I have given all the links of the nutrition topic, so you can click on any link and you can watch the nutrition unit. Okay, so now we'll go to the second unit, which is called as respiration. So already we have seen that all the life processes, they play a key role in, even if it is microorganism or if it is a multicellular organism, if it is a unicellular organism or a multicellular organism, life processes will play a major role. Already we have discussed what are life processes. The process which helps in the survival and perpetuation or continuation of the race is called as life process. So all the processes which we have already discussed, they help in our survival. The first unit we have learned about the nutrition. If you don't intake the nutrients, then you will not survive. Second one, we have learned about the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is also preparation of the food material. So if the food material is not prepared, if this life process doesn't take place in the plant, then the survival of the human race, animal race, living organisms will become a question mark, isn't it? So if the plants provide the food materials, we are able to survive. If they don't prepare, we will not survive. And thirdly, we have seen that digestion process. If the digestion is also a life process which takes place in our body. So whatever the food material you eat, that should be digested. If it is not digested properly, what will happen? That will become indigestion and it will lead to the death of the person. So the food material which you eat should be digested. What is digestion? Conversion of the solid particles such as, or complex molecules such as carbohydrates, proteins and fats into simple molecules such as glucose, amino acids and fats. If they don't convert, if they are not crushed to all these things, then you will not call it as proper digestion. So already we have seen the end result of the digestion. Okay, so glucose, amino acids and fatty acids are formed, and all these will be absorbed into the villi. Okay, and from the villi they will enter into the blood. So now you have to stay there where they entered into the blood in the digestion. So now what happens? So what are the food products which are eaten by us? They give out only to the process which is called as respiration. So respiration, it leads to the final utilization of the food. So who will utilize the food so that you can get the energy? And that is only the process called as respiration. So when oxygen which is taken by you, okay, when the oxygen is taken by you, when it get reacted with the food which you eat, then energy will be produced. How this process will happen and everything we shall see in this unit which is called as respiration. So we shall start with the discovery of gases and respiration. Okay, discovery of gases and respiration, that is what the topic we are going to see now. The term respiration, it was used in the way 14th century. So at the time of 14th century, people doesn't know much about respiration. What all, they hardly knew anything about the process of respiration. We know a lot of things about respiration. So if somebody asks you what is respiration, the immediate answer which we tell is taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. So even this thing also they don't know. They only know that something goes inside, some air goes inside, and what comes out is heat. This is what they know until the 14th century. So nobody has an idea of what actually happens in the body. What is this oxygen? What is this carbon dioxide? What is the water vapor? Okay, they all know is that some air goes inside and what comes out is the heat, and also some air comes out and along with the heat. This is what is their understanding about respiration. So in the 18th century, there were two scientists whose name is Lavoisier and Priestley. So these two people, until 18th century, it was only believed that respiration is nothing but taking some air inside and giving out the heat. Apart from that, they knew nothing. So just remember this in your mind. So there is no oxygen, there is no carbon dioxide, no water vapor, nothing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now in 18th century, two scientists have come out. One is Lavoisier and second one is the Priestley. They both did a comprehensive work on the properties of air and as well as the how the exchange of gases will takes place. Okay, this is what they have done with the experiments and all. So how the gases exchange will take place in the body, and what are the properties of air, and what are the gases which are present in the air. So they answered so many unanswered questions, okay, because of their experiments. So in the previous unit we have learned about the Priestley's experiment of the oxygen, isn't it? So the oxygen experiments which we have learned in the previous lesson, that is nutrition, is experiment done by Priestley. So he proved that there is oxygen. There is oxygen. Okay. Now we will go ahead with the very important topic: how carbon dioxide was found, how it was discovered by Lavoisier. That is what we are going to see now. So children, here we are seeing an experiment which is called as a bell jar experiment, which is done by Lavoisier so that he can identify different gases. The first experiment is the bell jar experiment, which he has done with using the charcoal. So here you can see this is a water trough. Okay, in the water trough we have taken a bell jar. Okay, it's a bell jar, and what we have taken is the charcoal. So children, now we are going to see the Lavoisier experiments. In the first experiment, you can see it's a bell jar experiment where he has taken a water trough where there was water filled with water, and then there is a jar. It's a bell jar which is in the shape of a bell. The jar which is in the shape of a bell. It's a bell jar which is inverted, and also here you can take some. He has taken some charcoal here. So now what he has done is he has burned the charcoal. He has burned the charcoal. So when he burned the charcoal when it is burned, it has given out some gas, and now this gas he called it as fixed air. He called it as fixed air, or you can say now we know that it is the carbon dioxide, but in those days it was not known to anybody that there was a gas which is called as the carbon dioxide gas. So they only just named it as a fixed air. That's it. And then here in the second experiment, what he has done is he has taken some phosphorus. The apparatus was same, the setting was same, but the only thing is that he has taken the phosphorus here. So taking the phosphorus, when he burned the phosphorus, what happened is it has consumed the air which was inside the bell jar. So some gas was consumed, some gas was used up so that it can burn. So now what is that air? What is that air? We all know that is the oxygen, which we call it as oxygen now, but at that time nobody knows that it was oxygen. So he came to a conclusion that the gas which is burnt here is not the water vapor. Okay, the gas which is used up here, the gas which is used up in the burning of the phosphorus was not the water vapor. That should be something else. And also he came to a perfect conclusion that the gas which is used up here is the respirable air. That means the air which can be respired. So that is how he came to a conclusion that this gas is not only respirable but also is taken by the human beings, okay, which is as a respirable air. And second one is it also helps in the burning. So he came to these two conclusions. First conclusion is it is a respirable air, and second conclusion is it helps in burning. So these two conclusions were made by Lavoisier after doing this bell jar experiment. In the first experiment, the gas which is given out is, he called it as a fixed gas, where it is now we call it as carbon dioxide, but at that time it was not known, so he named it as the fixed gas, or also he called it as the chalky acid air. He called it as chalky acid air because this gas which is coming out, it is making the water, lime water, milky. isn't it? So what is the thing which makes the lime water milky? So we all know that it is carbon dioxide now, but at the time they don't know that. So they call it as a chalky acid air, or else they call it as a fixed air. Okay, so with these two experiments, they came to a conclusion that there are two gases. One is which is helping in the burning, and one which is released out. Okay, which is making the lime water milky, and they named it as fixed air or chalky acid air. Okay, so children, two things happened here. One, some gas is used up to burn something, right? Some gas is being used here. And second thing is, some gas is released here. Okay, after burning of the charcoal, some gas is released outside, whereas, and here in this burning, some is being used up. So to make sure that the air comes to the normal, he had to do two things. He came to a conclusion that he had to do two things. He had to add the air which is used up in the burning, the respirable air which is helpful in burning. He has to add that. And second thing what he has to do is, he has to remove the air which is added in the bell jar, where when he burns something, okay, the chalky acid gas, is to be removed, and now the respirable air to be added. So this is the conclusion he has come to. So now the same kind of conclusion, after this he has come to a conclusion that this all process which actually happens in the body. That means when you take the air inside, something will happen inside the body, in the lungs. So the lungs are taking the air, and especially they are taking the respirable gases, and what is coming out? The chalky acid gas is coming out. The lungs are removing the chalky acid gas. So he has come to a conclusion like this. He also said that whatever the gas which is respired, the respirable gas, it will get into the blood, and because of that, blood gets the red color. That is what he has believed, and he has some strong points to make us believe that. But later on, the scientists believed that, and also they confirmed that red color of the blood is due to the presence of hemoglobin, and not because of the addition of the oxygen. So hemoglobin will take the oxygen. Hemoglobin will bind with the oxygen and takes it to the different parts of the body. That we have learned it later. But according to Lavoisier, the oxygen which goes inside the blood, it gives red color to the blood. So which was absolutely not a right point, but later on the scientists have proved that it is only because of the hemoglobin. Okay, now it is very much evident that the gas which goes inside is the respirable air. The gas which comes out is the chalky acid gas, according to Lavoisier. And after many years, it's proved that the air which goes inside is the oxygen, and the one which comes out is the carbon dioxide. At the same time, respiration has a lot to do with the heat which comes out of your body. You can just place your finger just in front of your nose and try to, when just feel that air which comes out, it will bring you the heat. And when you go to the mirror, and then when you leave your air out of your mouth, that will give some water vapor. That means during respiration, the carbon dioxide is coming out, at the same time heat is coming out, at the same time water is coming out. So there is a relation between the expel of the water vapor and also exhalation of carbon dioxide and heat. Okay, so this is the process which is called as respiration. Respiration is a process where you take the oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide. At the same time, heat comes out, and at the same time, it also gives the water vapor. So this is the base for the respiration or discovery of the gases. And also Lavoisier and Priestley, they perform several experiments so that they can tell the whole world that two gases are involved in the respiration. They want to say that air is a mixture of different gases. So because of them, we are now able to know that there is carbon dioxide, there is oxygen, okay, and in the respiration, what is given out? Heat is given out, and water vapor also comes out. So what are the steps which are right now, how the respiration takes place? What are the steps involved in the respiration? That all we will see later in the next class. So By this, we come to the end of this today's class, and tomorrow we'll meet with the next topic. Okay, that is events and steps in respiration. See you all. See you tomorrow.